Alright, hey guys, what I want to look at today, kind of going back to the original intent of the channel, is to fill potential customers in on a product that the information out there is a little lacking. Alright, so what we're looking at today is the LBT-8010, and then depending on the marketing that you're looking at, it's called the Extended Day Pack or the 3-Day Plus. I'm almost positive I've seen that term used. So this is kind of riding the success of LBT's 14-liter day pack, which is an awesome product. One of the first videos I did, and in my opinion, one of the best out-of-the-box products that London Bridge has released. All right, so it has a very similar look to it, very similar shape, and the marketing kind of leads you to believe that it's like the next step up, but that's kind of misleading. It is a huge pack. It's 35 liters, 2100 cubic inches, and it's a large pack. All right, not like rucksack large, but compared to the marketing, it's surprisingly big. It's right around the same size of a lot of those carry-on one bag type things where you're trying to fill your allowable space in the overhead to the max, but it doesn't really have any of the features you'd expect from one of those bags, and then it doesn't really carry that great as a backpack, so it's kind of confusing. I haven't really figured out what the best way to use this thing is. In all honesty, the most use it's gotten for me is almost as a duffel bag. I took it home with me on leave and used it to hold all my clothes for the 3 weeks that I was gone, in some packing cubes, and it kind of worked all right for that, but I wasn't really carrying it. It was basically a suitcase at that point. So looking at this thing, some of the external features, so you've got your loop field, you've got 2 pockets on the front face here. These are just flat pockets. There's no internal organization, there's no hook or anything, there's no little built-in admin pocket, and those aren't stretch panels, all right, which is going to come into play here a little bit at the end. All right. On the sides, you've got a laser cut MOLLE field there. All right, it's three columns wide, and it's pretty tall. Being the laser cut, you can kind of stagger that, so it's kind of however many rows you need it to be. And then you've got some compression straps with built-in webbing loops there to help clean that edge up. In all honesty, I'm not 100% sure why they put the MOLLE on the side there and got rid of easily the best feature from the 14-liter, which was the water bottle pockets, but they did, and I think they sell an insulated bottle pocket that is supposed to be paired with this, so maybe that was the game, is try to sell some additional pockets. I'm not really sure. All right. Looking up top, you do have bladder hose pass-throughs, and you've got a pretty nice carry handle up there. On the user's face, all right, you've got some fairly decent straps. Not necessarily decent for this bag, but they are well done straps. And you've got a MOLLE belt or waistband there, which is removable. It'll slide right out of this hole, and you can take it out. And then the shoulder straps can be tucked in up top. So if you are using it as a carry-on, or even checking it, you can tuck all the straps in, and it makes a fairly clean package, which will help protect it from some airline rough handling. So that is nice that they gave you that option, but they didn't really add carry handles to support that. The only way to carry this externally really is up top, and as I've mentioned in another video, carrying your pack in portrait mode is a sign of being a sociopath. So I don't really agree with that in that usage, right? And then looking at the bottom of the pack here, you've got a couple single molly loops there so that you can tie on like a sustainment pocket or something like that. It doesn't really play super well with anything other than those specific sustainment pockets that LBT uses on some of their other bags. Right? And then you do have a drainage grommet there. Okay, so outside features of the bag. The pockets on the front are nice in theory, but in reality, you have to have this bag completely full or cinched down really, really tight for it to carry well at all. And that kind of negates those pockets because they'll only really fit super flat objects. It's got to be something that's not fragile or prone to damage if it gets kind of bent around a curve, because it's going to get pretty tight. When I had this thing full of clothes, I couldn't think of anything that I would have wanted to put in those pockets that actually would have fit. So those are kind of a miss, and I almost wish they weren't there, or they were stretch panels so they had some give on the outer face of them. All right, so now that we've looked at the outside of this thing, let's go ahead and look inside, because I think that's kind of where this is the biggest fail. All right, so looking inside of the LBT-8010, which again is the day pack extended. Even right on their label, they've got 3-day LT, which I would assume is 3-day light. I don't know for sure, but there's really nothing to the inside of this bag, and that's what kind of leaves me wanting. So on the sides here, you've got a flat pocket, not really ideal for anything. You could fit a bottle in there if you didn't have the pack full, but it's too close to the top of the pack, so you're not going to get it out very well. So I don't know what else you would put in there, because it needs something fairly flat, but also really not long, or I don't even know. It's real confusing. All right, on the flap side, there's nothing going on. You've got the pockets on the outside, but this is just flat pack cloth. And then on the back face, you do have a bladder pocket with hanger that has some very light padding in it. So you would kind of maybe think that's a laptop pocket, but that kind of falls into the same trap as these. It's so close to the top of the pack that you'd have to like fold this backwards to get a laptop out of there, which is odd. And then you've got the flap for your frame sheet in here. I will say the frame sheet does its job pretty well. It's fairly rigid, and it helps keep the shape of the thing pretty all right. But the straps don't really add to that, and it doesn't help it carry any better really, because it doesn't really contour to your back at all. There's no load lifters, and with you having to have it relatively full, it doesn't carry right. I don't know how to describe it really. It carries like a school backpack, but it's huge, so it's not super comfortable. All right, and then each of these long pockets has a little grommet in the bottom, further leading me to believe they thought you were going to put water bottles in there, but I just don't see how, unless you're using like old school like Bell bicycle water bottles. You could probably get those out, but then you're kind of just wasting all that pocket, so it's very strange. And you can see you've got your pass-throughs for the bladder hose up there. All right, and then there's nothing going on in the bottom. All right, it's just the bottom of the pack. So this thing, it leaves me wondering what the best use for it is. I really think the best way to use it is just for hauling soft, fairly lightweight items that are bulky. It makes an okay duffel bag, but it doesn't carry very well as a duffel bag. And then the straps don't really add anything over any of the other options that are out there that are better duffel bags. So it's very odd to me. I tried to find a use for this that made sense. I I just without any sort of internal organization, no Velcro field or anything like that. Like I thought maybe it would make a kit bag that you still don't really want to use as a backpack, but it keeps your stuff organized. It doesn't really work well for that because it's got too much volume with no organization. It's very well made. I can't complain about the quality. I mean, it's typical LBT quality. There's nothing I can say about the quality that's bad, but I just don't think the design is there. I think they wanted to ride the coattails of the day pack, and instead of just bumping it up in size a little bit, kind of like the recycled firefighter 12-hour to 24-hour, they just went too big, and they found themselves with a pack that doesn't have a clear use to it. Without like a major rework on the straps and adding some load lifters or something like that, you're just not going to put anything heavy in here. So at that point in time, what else is it other than a suitcase? Hopefully this helped you guys out a little bit. It's a $300 pack when it's not on sale. It's a $160 pack when it is on sale. I just think there's so many other options in that price range and that size range that are significantly better packs that it doesn't make sense to me. Plus, LBX, LBT's sister company, has no less than 3 backpacks that are direct competitors with this, and without having actual hands on those bags, I think all 3 of them are a potentially better option. It doesn't seem very well thought out to me, and it leaves me real confused. But hopefully that helped. Hopefully it answered some questions. There's good pictures out there. People have reviewed them in text form, but I just think you kind of need to see this pack in video for it to make better sense. So hopefully this cleared it up. I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. Thanks, guys.